Alright, Claire, listen up. These are the brand new changes. So, number one, we have the new Sasuke, which was, obvious to come after Kid Naruto. So, there's that. But here are the new rebalances. Leaf Whirlwind, the technique now moves more forward. So, you get a bit more distance than you did previously, which is, well, I guess it needed some sort of a buff, but attackers are already buffed up anyway. Rasengan kind of needed a slight bit of extra lunge, I guess. And yeah, they decreased the cooldown time for it, which is slightly broken because it was already broken enough. Because it did have hyper armor, it did knock you back quite far. But no one used it really, to be honest, so then again there's that. So that's good. Massive Rasengan kind of did need a buff, no one used it and it was kind of underrated. And this time now they increased the axis correction time, so now it should kind of land a bit more easier. So kind of like turn and rotate slightly better. Kamui, it is now possible to use in the air, and it's decreased activation time. So that just basically means it doesn't take so much soul time, like compared to how it used to be. So you'd basically be looking at someone and then you'd have to have that person stand there for like a full minute. But now you can just activate it and it should be quite quick. Chidori now has hyper armor, so when you're using it, you won't be interrupted by a simple as kunai. Fireball should be much faster now, even though it was already fast enough. And the trekking, which was already quite good, is now even better. So there's that. Super Beast Scroll Lion does more damage, so it's probably gonna hit harder and it's probably going to be underrated, can't lie. Water Dragon, increased damage. When I tested it, it felt decent. It felt like it hit good. I think it's a bit underrated as well now. Kirin, they increased the attack range. I haven't tested this yet, but it sounds like a really good buff to something that not a lot of people use, though quite a few people do use. Post Transformation Six Tails, that's the giant bubble guy. They just increased the bubble's damage because some people would survive just purely because they had so much defense. So there's that. 8 Trigram's Palm Rotation. They decreased the cooldown time for that. It's a really nice ninjutsu, really good to counter ninjutsus of all sorts. So it's quite nice to have something unique again that can kind of block or fend off people, especially since it was 11 seconds, which is already fast, but now that they decreased it, I don't know what time it is now, but it's good that they decreased the cooldown time, so that way you can use it more or less more often to just deflect people and kind of damage them too. Earth Pillar Explosion, that's the ultimate for the defense, that's the first one. You can now use it mid-air, which is really weird and surprising, but there it is. War Prison Rosary Bondage, now it's possible to use it in mid-air instead of just on the ground, which would, which is good. Now, heal types, they got a massive buff, in my opinion, in a lot of things. Paralyzing Jutsu, which is my favorite one, it's increased. So, as soon as you press it, it will basically be almost activated. So basically it's fast activation speed. Not only that, but it decreased the time until attack. So normally when you use Paralyzing Seal, you'd be like stuck in that animation using it. But now it's just like instant. It's almost like as if you... I mean, there isn't any other ninjutsu in the game that can activate so fast, but I guess Crimson Drizzle to an extent. But anything... I mean, it's just the fastest thing to activate. So now it's just instant. However, if people are still moving, obviously you won't be able to catch them. But if they're only slightly moving and they're slightly slow, then yeah, you can catch them. Heavy Boulder, which was already powerful in its own right, has now become even more powerful, which is a slightly bit broken. Cherry Blossom Clash, they increase the damage when the ninjutsu hits in the center. So if you directly hit someone right in the middle with it, they're going to take extra damage, so that's good to know. 8 Trigrams Air Palm, increased damage, increased projectile speed, and increased tracking ability. So it should be easier to land now and should deal slightly more damage than just a marshmallow. Byakugan needed this badly, so they adjusted it so only the user does not take guard damage while this ninjutsu is active, and adjusted it so that then only the user can guard against guard breaking attacks. So what that basically means, by the way, the guard doesn't break. So essentially you can block everything except from secret techniques, obviously. And you can block ninjutsus, I'm pretty sure. So let's say, for example, someone threw Madara's fireball at you, you can block that now, and your guard won't be broken. Or let's say, for example, Rasengan Connection, which I haven't tested this out yet, right? But I'm assuming so, that you could probably block Rasengan Connection. So that gives us a slight bit of a counter, a bit more hope when using something. I think it does give it to the teammates as well. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure, even though it says it's only to the user. So we'll have to test that out if anyone's down to do that. Nervous system rupture reduces the time required to cancel into another action when the secret technique is activated. So essentially it's just, I mean, it's not secret technique, it's just whenever you're going to use a secret technique, it takes less time. Because apparently this ninjutsu required time for it to end so that then you can use your ninjutsu. So there's that. But yeah, should be fine now. Basically adjusted the motion when hit, so when you hit them it's going to be in a different kind of knockdown animation, maybe, possibly, or you're just going to be flying in a different way that doesn't send you, I don't know, to the next realm when using it. Lava style, basically Mei's lava style, where she shoots out lava. It increased the continuous damage when hitting. I don't know why they're calling it a lava monster. It's so weird. It's so random and weird. It's the mistranslation, honestly. But yeah, the lava on the ground now has increased continuous damage, so that's quite good. It says before impact, so either the one on the ground now hits harder, or either if you hit someone with it, it does more damage. So that's good to know, but only the continuous damage, not physical. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyway, this one I'm quite happy with. They decreased the time until debuff and increased the length of the debuff time, and they increased the damage of it. So let's say you hit someone with Tsukiyomi twice, that's around about 2/4 or 3/4, 2 out of 3/4 of their HP. So that's quite good, I'm not gonna lie, especially if you're comboing it with a weapon and paralyzing. So you're essentially just killing them much faster, and it allows you to basically debuff them for a longer time. So even if they do escape, they're going to be so slow to the point where you could probably use something like Crimson Drizzle again, and then just stun them, and then pull Tsukiyomi off again. So really good, really nice. I like that change, because Tsukiyomi is not used as often, and if it was used as often, then I'd say it's going to be broken. But a lot of people kind of just tend to not use it because it's hard to hit. Strength of 100 flower cannons, they increase the heal overtime effects, so I don't know what to say to this, but it could be broken again, maybe not. I mean, it's always broken anyway, even after they've nerfed the healing. So honestly, flower cannon is just back to being useful again, you could say. And then they rebalance certain weapons, and the only certain weapon is just the shark skin one. So now the shark skin attacks just attacks different. So now you can combo much better. So before it just wasn't useful at all because it used to be a kind of a silly weapon, but now you can actually use it as a weapon. Sand spear, no clue, don't have it. But if you do have it, now there's forward movement when attacking. So basically before, when you was using that SS plus weapon, you basically couldn't move forward when doing a certain attack, but now you do. And bug fixes implemented, whatever that means. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Essentially, healers can now go ahead and do extra damage with Crimson Drizzle and Heavy Boulder. 8 trigrams will hit a bit more often. Byakugan allows you to block almost all ninjutsus and anyone that's trying to attack you, so blocking is actually a thing now. Lava Style will hit harder, Tsukiyomi will hit harder, Nervous System Rupture you can actually land it now, Strength of 100 Cloud can actually heal you now. And yeah, Paralyzing Jutsu. So I'd say it's quite a good buff. Other than that, range got a bit more of a buff. They kind of needed it, but not really at the same time. But I do appreciate it because, like, for example, Chidori definitely needed a super armor. Fireball definitely needed a bit more speed sometimes. And Super Beast Scroll Lion, I don't use it, but definitely needed more damage. War Dragon definitely needs more damage and maybe a different effect, because slowing them down slightly isn't going to do anything. And yeah, quite a few other things. But for attackers, I feel like what they did was correct. Like, they're the very basic ones. Like, they're all of the free to get and free to play ninjutsus. I feel like that's what they should focus on for attackers, because it just feels wrong to have constantly all of these DLCs be buffed for them. Surprised they didn't do anything about Rasengan Connection, like make it 11 seconds or something longer. But yeah, that's literally it. So yeah, also there's the new lineup, if I can find it. I cannot find it. But yeah, there's a special boost for now, and there's a few weapon trials. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a brand new SS Plus weapon, along with an SS weapon, and both are fairly broken for the same class as well, so this has like multiple different modes. This arrow has multiple different modes, and it has like universal pull inside of it as like a stun. It has like poison. It has something that like acts like a beam. There's another thing that, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of strange stuff. I haven't got it yet, but I have got the Staff of Fire Deity's Roar, which is weird as fuck, but it is the most silly, batshit, whiz-like thing I've seen in the game, and it's broken because the triangle looks like you can just spam it away and the person will be stunned. So there's that. There's the Double Moonsword Fading Blossom. This one is quite decent. It's for healers, so it's a good weapon. It's a mix from defense and healers, so it allows you to kind of almost act like a defense if you get the hyper armor for it. This only has, yeah, this doesn't have any hyper armor, but it does do a decent amount of damage. I wouldn't say it's overpowered, but I wouldn't say it's to be underestimated either. Flaming Hook is broken as fuck. Everybody should try and get it. And the outfit is not special. And that's it, pretty much. So, yeah. If you have anything in the exchange shop, like enough tickets, just buy Purple Lightning. Gives hyper armor for every single class. And yeah, that's it.